If you want to absolutely guarantee that you will fail at your next major life goal, just do exactly this. Wait until Sunday night.
Oh, yeah, the classic Sunday night.
Right. Let yourself get just incredibly, overwhelmingly motivated. Set a massive life-altering target for Monday morning. Buy all the new gear, map out a highly detailed, color-coded spreadsheet.
You got to have the spreadsheet.
You have to. And then go to sleep entirely convinced that your whole identity has just magically transformed. I mean, it sounds like the perfect kickoff, right?
It really does.
It's that classic Sunday night reinvention. But according to the materials we are unpacking today, relying on that initial rush of emotion is actually, well, it's the exact recipe for failure.
It is. It's a trap so many of us fall into. We confuse the emotional high of setting a goal with the actual mechanical work of achieving it.
And that is exactly the gap we're exploring today in this deep dive. We are looking at a personal and professional development program called VictoryWithAsh, which was created by Ash Mufareh. We've got our hands on their foundational master knowledge base, along with the specific materials from episode 9 of their program. And that one is heavily focused on the power of daily habits and self-discipline.
Some really powerful stuff.
It is. So the mission today is to unpack the core philosophy of this program. We want to help you understand exactly why that gap exists. The gap between wanting to change and actually changing.
And more importantly, how to bridge it.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this. Where is the fundamental disconnect happening here?
Well, the disconnect happens right at the diagnosis stage. The core argument in the VictoryWithAsh philosophy is that we are constantly misdiagnosing our own failures.
How so?
So when we abandon that color-coded spreadsheet after 3 weeks, our immediate instinct is to blame ourselves, right? We blame a lack of intelligence or, a lack of innate willpower or opportunity.
Yeah, we think we're just fundamentally flawed.
Exactly. But the program argues that growth is rarely an information problem. Like, it's almost never about a lack of knowledge.
Right, because, we are drowning in information. We have the entire accumulated knowledge of humanity sitting in our pockets.
Yeah, and yet we still don't take action. And that is because we are suffering from massive information overload combined with what they call an implementation crisis.
An implementation crisis. I like that.
Yeah, having the knowledge means absolutely nothing if you lack the daily systems to translate that knowledge into behavior. We always think we need another book or another seminar.
When what we actually need is just a structural mechanism for action.
Exactly. It's an implementation problem.
So wait, if a lack of dreams isn't the problem, because we have plenty of dreams, what is the actual machinery here? The source material draws some very hard lines between concepts that, honestly, most of us just use interchangeably.
Yeah, they get very specific with their definitions.
Right. They separate goals, habits, discipline, and consistency. So to rebuild our approach, we probably need to break down those crucial distinctions.
Yeah, let's pull those apart. So think of goals as simply your compass. They have one job, to tell you the direction you want to travel.
But a compass doesn't actually move you anywhere.
Right, it just points. Habits, on the other hand, are the engine. They determine what you repeatedly do. They're the automated daily behaviors that run without you having to burn any real cognitive energy.
Okay, so then where does discipline come in?
Discipline comes in when the engine stalls. It's the manual override, basically. It is the force that keeps you going when your motivation completely vanishes.
And then consistency.
Consistency is what turns those repeated actions into actual progress. It's the compounding effect over time.
Okay, I have to challenge this setup just a bit, though.
Sure.
Because isn't setting a massive, inspiring goal the whole point of personal growth? Almost every piece of self-help media tells you to dream big and visualize the end result.
Oh, absolutely.
So why does relying on that massive goal and that initial excitement, why does that backfire so predictably?
It backfires because it relies entirely on motivation. And motivation, at the end of the day, is just an emotion.
And emotions are fleeting.
Exactly. They're inherently unreliable by design. So when you rely solely on how excited a big goal makes you feel, you are basically building your entire future on changing weather.
Wow, yeah.
Neurologically, when you set a massive goal, your brain gives you this huge spike of dopamine just for imagining the success. You literally get the reward before you've done any of the actual work.
Which perfectly explains the story from the source text. There's this example of 2 different people trying to get stronger.
Right, the gym example.
Yeah, so imagine someone who wants to get healthier. They catch that Sunday night fever, they're riding this huge dopamine high, So they decide to go to the gym and exercise for 5 solid hours on their very first day.
And we all know exactly how that ends.
Oh, total destruction. They burn out immediately, they wake up the next day, everything hurts, and they just never go back.
The motivation completely crashes.
But then, the second person takes a completely counterintuitive approach. They start with a highly manageable routine, they just focus on the action, improve gradually, and they end up winning in the long run.
What's fascinating here is how that story highlights a very specific formula from the text.
Oh, right, the success formula.
Yeah, it goes like this. Vision plus goals plus daily habits plus discipline plus consistency equals progress.
It's a chain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you remove discipline or consistency from that equation, the whole structure just collapses. The big takeaway is that extraordinary results are almost never born from one dramatic day. They come from ordinary actions repeated consistently.
So, okay, now that we understand why we burn out, how do we actually rebuild our approach? The host, Ash Mufareh, rather introduces this foundational victory framework.
Yeah, the macro strategy.
Right. It consists of 3 steps: rise, reset, and refocus. Let's break those down.
Sure. So the first phase, rise, is fundamentally about taking responsibility. It's the moment you choose action over excuses. You have to intellectually rise above your current limitations.
And then we hit the second step, which is reset.
This is where it gets tough.
Yeah, because this is about deliberate realignment. You have to break destructive habits. There's a key lesson from the text here that really stuck with me. You cannot build a better future while carrying the habits that created your current problems.
That is such a vital point.
Mm-hmm.
You can't bring the old baggage into the new reality.
It's like trying to fix a computer, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
It's like trying to install brand new high-performance software, which would be the rise phase. You're so excited to run it. But you realize you first have to uninstall the malware that's slowing everything down.
That's the reset.
Exactly. You have to clear out the viruses before you can finally run the right programs, which brings us to refocus.
Right, and refocus is defined as eliminating distractions so you can direct your energy toward what actually matters.
Which is incredibly hard to do today.
Oh, it's harder than ever. The source warns that modern life is just completely engineered to scatter our attention.
Yeah.
But the rule they give is simple. Where attention goes, results follow.
Where attention goes, results follow. I love that. So, having explored this high-level mindset, let's pivot to the micro level.
The daily execution.
Right. How can you practically engineer your days using the 6 principles of daily habits from the source? Let's go through them. Principle 1 is start small.
Which goes right back to the gym story.
Exactly. Instead of promising yourself that you're going to study for 3 hours every night, you just commit to 20 minutes of focused learning.
Because 20 minutes bypasses the brain's threat response. You don't dread it.
Right. And then principle 2 is be specific. You have to change vague intentions, like saying, I will learn more, is useless.
It means nothing to the brain.
Exactly. You change it to specific plans, like I will spend 30 minutes learning a professional skill every morning.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Principles 3 and 4. Principle 3 is discipline beats temporary motivation. We know motivation fades. But principle 4 is the genius part. Remove friction.
Oh, right. Preparing your environment before you need to act.
Yes. You stop relying on willpower and start relying on environmental design. So setting out your learning materials the night before.
You make the good habit easy and the distractions hard.
Exactly. If the book is already open on your desk and your phone is in another room, you're going to read the book.
Because we are basically lazy creatures at our core.
We really are. We take the path of least resistance.
Okay, so then principle 5 is tracking your progress. But what happens when you inevitably mess up? Because we all do.
That brings us to principle 6, which honestly offers so much psychological relief.
Yeah, I loved this one. Never let one bad day become a bad week.
Right. Missing one morning routine does not define the journey. Perfection is not the objective here.
Progress is.
Exactly. Progress over perfection.
Okay, so how do we put all of this together starting today? The source actually outlines a very specific 7-day consistency challenge.
It's a great roadmap.
Yeah, let's walk through it. Day 1, you just choose one habit. Day 2, you simply repeat it.
Just establish the pathway.
Right. Day 3, you remove one distraction from your environment. And then day 4, this is the big one, you repeat the habit even when your motivation is low.
Because by day 4, that initial excitement is completely gone.
And the novelty has worn off.
Yeah, so day 4 is where you actually build the discipline.
Okay, then day 5, you review your progress. Day 6, you improve your environment. And Day 7, you reflect. But wait, I want to push back on Day 6 for a second.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Day 6 mentions improving your environment. But if we are building this ironclad self-discipline through this program, why should our environment or the people around us matter so much?
Well, this connects to the broader Victory with Ash philosophy. They explain that willpower is finite. It is a depletable resource. The text explicitly states that the people we spend time with actively shape our standards. If you're constantly fighting a negative environment, you're burning all your willpower just to stay at baseline.
So you need an environment that acts as a tailwind, not a headwind.
Exactly. And that's why they emphasize mentorship and accountability. Having a mentor shortens your learning curve, and a community prevents you from making common mistakes.
It acts as a safety net. And it's cool how the source applies these habits across all life categories. They talk about career, business, relationships, health, and personal growth.
Yeah, it's very comprehensive.
They focus heavily on practical skills, too, like communication, leadership, and even navigating AI and emerging tech.
Real-world application.
Exactly. So naturally, if you're listening and you want to explore this kind of environment, you can use the link in the description to join the Victory with Ash community.
It's a great place to start implementing all this.
It really is. So let's synthesize all of this. What does this all mean? The biggest takeaway is that success is rarely created by one dramatic moment. It is created by ordinary actions repeated consistently. I want to share a powerful quote directly from the source text. It says, "You do not transform your life in one day. You transform your life through what you choose to do every day."
That's so true.
You don't need to become a completely different person tomorrow. You just need to make one slightly better decision today.
And there's a thought I want to leave you with that builds on this. We talk about discipline as a muscle built through daily reps.
Yeah.
Well, what happens when we start viewing our failures not as these deep character flaws, but simply as, like, missed workouts in the gym of life?
Oh, wow. I like that.
Right? Because if you miss a day at the gym, you don't declare yourself a total failure. You just go back the next day. So
Yeah.
does taking the heavy emotion and the shame out of failure actually make it easier to succeed?
That reframing changes everything. When you remove the shame, the path to consistency is just wide open.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for patiently listening to this deep dive. I appreciate your time, your attention, and your commitment to becoming a better version of yourself.
It's been a great conversation.
It really has. As the Victory with Ash program reminds us, rise, reset, refocus. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving forward.